Well, Mr. Rec District Board Member, you've been going around town telling everybody that the information we are posting is misinformation. What do you have to say to that?
That's right. You're posting far different information from what we are. Where are you getting that information?
Actually, all that information we have comes from your own printed promotions, your public meetings, your cash flow projections that we got through a Quora request.
Yeah, and you started off in your public meetings promoting a 0.2% tax increase to fill a $14 million funding gap for just 17 years.
And then, at the last minute, announce you want to increase the tax rate to 0.3%? That's a 50% increase over what you promoted and amounts to a 4% tax increase. And how about that funding gap of $14 million? How did it jump unannounced to over $24 million and for 25 years?
But it's just a teeny-weeny temporary tax.
Temporary? The district increased the time frame from 17 years to 25 years without making it public, and you call that temporary? What about the $1.8 million leaving this community each year for that 25 years? That's not a teeny-weeny amount.
17 years, 25 years, what difference does it make? It's just a teeny-weeny tax.
It makes a lot of difference to the seniors on fixed incomes and those in our community struggling to make it paycheck to paycheck. It makes a hell of a lot of difference to all those who've lost their jobs.
And it makes a lot of difference to businesses here that are struggling to stay in business.
But it's just a teeny-weeny tax, and it's all for the kids.
Right. We have over 25% of Montrose kids below the poverty level, and you want to raise taxes? All our kids will be saddled with this tax and paying the bill for the $45 million house of cards for 25 years.
Well, it's still just a teeny-weeny tax, right?
This sales tax is just the beginning. You've been awfully quiet on what you have planned for the taxpayers over the next 30 years.
That's right. You don't talk publicly about plans to increase user fees and increase real estate taxes next year by 13.5%. And you don't talk about the $67 million in new taxes you plan over the next 30 years.
But it's still just a teeny tax.
And you don't want to talk about the $20 million in interest that we will have to pay on a $24 million loan.
And you certainly don't want to talk about the over $30 million in sales taxes you expect to drain from this economy.
Well, maybe we should have done a better job of informing the public. There have been a few things we forgot to mention, but it's still just a wee tax.
We tax my backside. And you forgot to mention quite a few things. When you combine all the unseen costs involved, this project is suddenly over $45 million. Quite an increase from that $14 million funding gap that you promoted so heavily. Where did all the transparency go? We thought the district was supposed to be a good steward of public funds.
This whole thing is nothing but an unmitigated train wreck in the process. Every taxpayer and voter needs to go to www.stoptherec.com to get the real information on how a tax increase will affect Montrose.